In this video, we're going to talk about intersection and union between graphs. So the first thing I want to point out is that when we have these values, that if you notice the problem up here and the problem down here are exactly the same, except they have the and or in between them. And what we have to understand is differentiating between the two. So the first thing to understand is that when we're talking about and, or we're talking about intersection, we're talking about what's in common to both. What values do they have that overlap? For example, if you wanted to say, I'm going to meet you at the corner of Emmett and North, that is a specific location, rather than if I was talking about Emmett or North, that could be anywhere on the Emmett Street, or it could be anywhere on North Avenue. So again, intersection is what is in common. Union can be on either one graph, one set, one situation, or another. So that's typically more broad and more encompassing. But the one thing I want to show, again, comparing both of these graphs, and I just noticed that this is missing the negative, so let me repair that. That between these both graphs, we are going to start with the same two things on the same number line. So let's start out here. I want to start with, we have a 4 and we have -2. So I'm going to put these two values here. We have -2 and we have a +4. So what I'm going to talk about now is how to graph each one. So I notice that this is x is less than 4. There's no equal sign. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place that curved line here, and then I'm going to use my highlighter just to kind of show that overlap. So again, because it's less than, it's going to start here and it's going to go everything in this direction. So when I'm talking about the other one, we have x is greater than or equal to -2, so that means it's going to have that hard bracket, and I'm going to choose a different color, and I'm going to shade everything greater than on this one. So one of these graphs is the greater than, like this one, and then the other one is going to be less than the 4. So if you'll notice in that, we're looking for, in the first one, we're looking for what is in common. So in this case, I like the highlighters because they overlap a little bit and we can see the green. So when we're looking for and, we're looking for what's in common, or we're looking for this value in between. So it looks like the only parts that are the overlap are the ones that turn green. So it's from -2 and it goes up to 4. And once again, the interval matches the shape or the bracket versus parentheses that I have put on the number line. The other thing I can do is I can say, well, hey, this is for all x such that x is between -2 and 4. Oops, I forgot to put the x in there. X here and 4. But again, make sure that everything matches the same inequality here. So since it was greater than or equal to, make sure that one is. So you can put it in interval notation, or you can put it into set builder notation. But when I'm looking at the or wants anything. So where and wanted both colors, we can put that up here as well, both colors. That has to happen. Or says I want any color. So when I look at this graph down here, again, it's the same graph. I'm still comparing the two, but I'm looking at the fact that when I'm looking for an or between this, I want anything that has a color, whether it's yellow, whether it's blue, or the overlap of green. And this thing goes from -infinity to +infinity. Or all x such that x is any number, any real number, part of the number line set, any real, anything like that would do. But again, same two inequalities, but a very different answer based on whether I want what's in common or I want anything with a color. So let's look at the next one. I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to graph both of these on the number line. Okay, so I've graphed both values, and if you look, the yellow again is here. Let me change it to a pencil. So the yellow is here. It's everything greater than or equal to. So I've got my bracket. It's shaded everything to the right. The blue is everything greater than -1. It's a rounded bracket. So the one I want, again, and is both colors. What value has both colors? Well, the value here is the fact that it's the green, or the overlap of blue and yellow. So it's everything from -1 going up to infinity. Or we can say all x such that x is greater than, but not equal to, because it's got the rounded bracket, -1. But when I want the or situation, I want any color. So it can be blue, it can be yellow, it can be green. It's not going to be back here. That has nothing on it. So that is not going to be part of my set. But what it is I can start here at -3. That's got yellow, and then it goes up and up and up and up and all the way to infinity. That's going to be my my whole interval here. Or we can, again, with my set builder, we can say all x such that x is greater than or equal to, because it had the squared off bracket, -3. So let's look at the last one. I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to graph it, see if you can do the same thing. Okay, so we've got this last one where we will put the yellow has everything is less than or equal to 2. So again, I've got my rounded bracket, and then I've shaded everything to the right, or excuse me, the left. Same thing with blue. We started with a rounded bracket. We've got everything to the left. And then again, we want the one that has both colors, and the only one here is starting at -infinity, and it goes all the way up and it stops at 2. From here, from 2 to 4 doesn't have yellow, and from 4 above doesn't have any colors whatsoever. And again, we can say all x such that x is less than or equal to 2. Now when I get down here, I want anything that has any color. So as I'm solving this, we have x is less than or equal to 2. We have x is less than 4. So any color, whether it's blue, yellow, or green, goes all the way up to 4. So I can say all x such that x is less than but not equal to 4. In the next video, we're going to talk about absolute values, and then we're going to put all of it together in our last video from chapter 1.